All right. How's everybody doing? Good. I'm a little bit concerned that I might be slightly overdressed for comedy, but I got to tell you, in my defense, I am what is known as a Guido. And I can tell you two things about all Guidos. Number one, we pretty much overdress for every possible occasion. But number two, we also overtip for possibly every occasion, which is a good thing. A lot of you like that, I know. Luckily for me, I married a Jewish girl. She undertipped, so I think it all evens out in the end. All evens out in the end. So the first time I ever went on vacation, my wife went to this beautiful resort in La Jolla, Southern California. And I got to tell you, every time I put out money for a nice place to stay, I got all kinds of friends and family members. Why are you wasting money on a hotel room? You're just going to sleep there. You're just going to shower there. I'm like, look, that's true. It's a waste of money if you're not attractive. Okay? For attractive people, the nice room. I'm going to tell every guy watching this right now, if you're not getting better sex on vacation, one of you is screwing it up. Okay? Either you're too cheap or somebody's screwing it up. My wife and I, first vacation, you know how hot that is. The first 2 days, we didn't even leave the room. We just kept ordering room service. And I got to tell you, after about 3 or 4 trips from room service, I started to notice that the people that worked there were a lot nicer to me than they were to her. And she's not only a woman, she's a beautiful woman. And I kind of gave her crap about it. I said, hey, baby, did you know that the people here, the people that work here, they obviously like me a lot more than they like you? I said, do you know why that is? She goes, no, why don't you tell me? I said, the reason is because I have personality. I got personality. People like me. I'm a people person. You just don't got that kind of thing going on. You're beautiful and smart and all that stuff, but I got personality. She looks at me and goes, no, that's not it. It's not it? All right, well, what is it then? Why is everybody so nice to me? She said, you haven't figured out yet that there's a 30% tip included in the room service, and you're tipping another 30% on top of it. So enjoy your $27 bowl of oatmeal, Fresno State. Let me explain. My wife and I have this weird thing when either of us does something that we think is stupid, we refer to each other by the colleges that we went to. Now, for me, calling somebody dumb that went to a state school, I don't think it's that funny. But she went to Harvard, okay? That's funny. At least comedically, I think that's funny. So when I call her Harvard when she does something dumb, you know, I used to tell people that my wife went to Harvard and I went to the Harvard of the West. But too many freaking people in California actually know the Harvard of the West is actually Stanford. So I cannot say that anymore because nobody, and I mean nobody, considers Fresno State the Harvard of the West. But I'm going to say it anyway because I feel like we're on an equal level in terms of educational growth and background. So I'm originally from San Francisco. And when I say San Francisco, I mean the actual city of San Francisco. I know it's hard to believe, but there are actually people that were born and raised in San Francisco. And I left 20 years ago, and I have told a lot of people that I'm from there. And anytime I tell people I'm from San Francisco, one of two things happens. The first thing, you would not believe how many people automatically assume that just because I'm from San Francisco, I'm probably gay. Just because I'm from the city. Just because I'm from the city. And I got to tell you, it doesn't bother me. I take it as a compliment. Because nobody assumes ugly guys from there are gay. They only assume it if you're a good-looking dude. So I'm taking it as a compliment all day long. The second thing, and this is what really bothers me. The second thing is, I tell someone I'm from San Francisco, and it's almost like they immediately have to start talking about somebody that they know that's from San Francisco, only for me to find out and eventually become unbelievably disappointed that this person they are speaking of is not from San Francisco. So I was the speaker in the vacation industry for about 20 years, talked to a lot of people, and a couple years ago, I was talking to a group. Just like I always do, I mention I'm from San Francisco, and there's this guy like in the third or fourth row, and all of a sudden he's got the most important question ever. I mean, this guy is just waving his hand like he's trying to get a taxi in the room. And normally when I'm on my game, I just, put your hand down, buddy. I'll get to you later. But you're not always on your game. You're not always 100%. And I let him distract me, and it was a mistake. And I went to him, and I'm like you. With the question, what is so important you got to interrupt me up here and disturb my entire flow of what we're trying to do? What is your question? And he goes, oh, I'm sorry. I don't really have a question, but what I wanted to tell you was my brother-in-law moved to San Francisco like 6 months ago and he loves it. Wow. You know what? I think I can speak for everybody in the room. Thank you so much for that share. I don't think we could have made it through this thing without that little tidbit of information. I really do appreciate. And basically, in that situation, I'm basically trying to intimidate him and anybody else in the room from asking me any more stupid fucking questions. I just want to do my job. And I'm not kidding. It was my fault. I should have just moved on. But like 10 seconds later, I got to go back to this guy. It's my fault. You, with the brother-in-law. I'm just curious. He lives in San Francisco. That's what you're telling me? Yeah, San Francisco. I'm just curious. What neighborhood does he live in? What neighborhood? Yeah, what neighborhood? There are very distinct neighborhoods in San Francisco. You can tell a lot by somebody by which neighborhood they live in. I'm just curious. What neighborhood does your brother-in-law live in? Oh, well, I don't know the exact neighborhood, but man, he bought this amazing 4-bedroom house with a huge yard. I mean, it is spectacular. Now, if you're like me and you have some idea of what it costs to buy a 4-bedroom house in the actual city of San Francisco with a yard, whatever that number is in your head that you think it costs, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to triple it. You're not even close. A 4-bedroom house in the actual city of San Francisco with a big yard in the worst, most dangerous neighborhood you can live in is going to cost about $5 million. You got people from Google spending $10 million for homes that they bulldoze the next day and start over. Just like that, okay? So when somebody tells me their brother-in-law bought a 4-bedroom house in my city, I'm thinking this can't be a regular guy, right? He's got to be an actor, maybe an entertainer, athlete, something like that. So I get this idea. I said, all right, I got an idea for us. We're going to play a little game. You tell us what number your brother-in-law is, and the rest of us will try to figure out which Bay Area sports team he plays for. You know, the Giants, the 49ers, the Warriors, the A's, the San Jose Sharks, maybe even a soccer team, but I wouldn't know because I'm fucking American. What number is it? You mean like his phone number? No, his jersey number. Oh, my brother-in-law's not an athlete. He's just a regular guy, has a regular job. He's a regular guy with a regular job. Bought a 4-bedroom house in San Francisco. Is his family independently wealthy? What are we doing here? No. He just, he has a job, a wife, couple of kids. Okay, this is not making any sense to me. It's not making any sense. It's starting to bother me. So here's how we're going to settle this, okay? What does your brother-in-law do for a living? He's a teacher? What the fuck? What do you mean he's a teacher? What does he teach? How to create the cure for cancer? How to rob a bank and get away with it successfully? No, he's a high school biology teacher. What the high school? And I'm losing my mind. I said, all right, we're going to settle this. If I was going to send your brother-in-law a letter through the post office, okay? And I hand an envelope, and I get on the envelope. By the way, if you guys know anybody like under 25 years old and you want to have some fun, hand them a blank envelope and ask them to mail a letter. It's fucking hysterical. No idea how to send a letter. But if I get to the part on the letter where I have to write the city, would I write San Francisco? Is that what I would write? And he goes, no, not technically. Okay, here we go. Technically, what would I write? Well, technically, it's Fresno. Fresno, what the? Are you out of your mind? That's 4 hours away from San Francisco. What the hell is the matter with you? That's like me moving to San Diego. And people say, hey, Mike, how's San Diego? Oh, it's great. The weather's fantastic. The people are super nice. They totally fucking shit the bed on that SeaWorld thing. But other than that, it's a great place. Well, what neighborhood do you live in? Well, technically, it's Tijuana, Mexico. Because Tijuana, Mexico is way closer to San Diego than Fresno is to freaking my home city. It's driving me nuts. Now, as far as the gay thing, people assuming I might be gay just because I'm from San Francisco, let me explain this. Per person, per capita, San Francisco is no longer the gayest city in America. It's not even close. I don't know if you're aware of this. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's not San Francisco. It's not LA. It's not New York. It's not South Beach. The gayest city in America is Palm Springs, California. I'm not kidding, Palm Springs. I heard a rumor, and I thought it was a rumor a couple years ago, that Palm Springs has actually gotten so gay that they don't let gay guys join the police department anymore like they do in other cities. Instead, they gave them their own police department. You know how you got like the sheriffs and you got Metro? We got sheriffs, we got Metro, and we got the gay police. They got way nicer uniforms. Their cars are German, I mean, they're fantastic. The jails have espresso machines. It's fantastic. I thought it was complete bullshit until I saw it and experienced it. About a year and a half ago, I was driving from Vegas to Palm Springs to see a friend of mine for a work opportunity who works at a resort. It's August. Now let me explain this. If you are somebody that complains about the heat in places like Las Vegas or Arizona in August, don't even think about going to Palm Springs. It is unbearable. I have no idea how anybody can live there in the summer. It was August. I was in a suit. I was in my brand new car, and I was in the middle of nowhere trying to find a resort. All of a sudden, I get pulled over. Now, normally, when you get pulled over, there's not really any shock value. You know what the hell you did. But this was like the only time in my life I actually did not know what I did wrong. So I pull over, I got my license, my insurance, I'm getting all my ducks in a row. And the cop's behind me, and he's in his car, and after about 5 minutes, I'm getting a little bit nervous because he's just sitting there. I'm like, is he waiting for other people? Do I have some kind of weird warrant? What the hell is going on? And then after about 5 minutes, he doesn't get out and walk up to my car. No. He drives up. He pulls his car. So he's here and I'm here and we're facing this way. And he motions to me to roll down the window. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I roll down the window. And this is when I knew the whole gay police department thing might not be a rumor. Because this is what I got. Hi! I can tell from your license plate you're probably from Las Vegas. Yes, officer, I'm from Vegas. Great. Can you do me just a tiny favor? Just a little favor. While you're driving in my city, can you stop driving like a fucking asshole? There was a double left turn lane. You totally blew past it, ignored the rules of the road, and I can't have that in my city. And if you promise, you super promise never to do it again, I don't feel the need to write you a ticket. Officer, yeah, I will never do it in this city or any other city ever. You have my word. That's great. Wow, what color is that shirt? That is, oh my God, it makes your eyes pop. What a beautiful car. I want you to enjoy yourself in Palm Springs, sweetie. Okay, you have a great day. And he took off. I'm not kidding. When you get pulled over, the second the police officer leaves, you're gone, right? You don't just sit there. I was there for fucking 20 minutes. I was in shock. Because all I needed was, I spent the next 3 days trying to figure out two things. Number one, holy shit, is there really a gay police department in Palm Springs? And number two, if it's a certain temperature outside, do cops actually not have to get out of the fucking car? I'm an Italian guy in a suit in August in a Cadillac. There's a 50% chance I have a dead body in the trunk. 50%. He didn't ask my name, didn't ask for my license, nothing. Just yelled at me and took off. I gotta tell you, it scared the hell out of me, but I thought it was fantastic. Now, I've been doing some thought, and I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think having a gay police department in every city in America is a bad idea. Look, I come from law enforcement. I have friends and family in law enforcement. And if you do too, you ask any of them, there is one type of call no police officer ever wants to go to. Domestic violence. We don't need our cops breaking up fucking arguments. We need them stopping home invasions and terrorists and bullshit. Unbelievable. Domestic violence. So you know what? We don't send the regular police. Husband and wife are throwing shit at each other, screaming at each other. You may not know this, but when the cops get called to your house for domestic violence, even if neither of you deserve it, one of you is going to jail no matter what. That is the rule. So imagine this. Instead of sending the regular cops, where we can actually allow them to do regular cop work, we send in the gay police. Imagine 2 gay cops show up, husband and wife screaming at each other. First gay cop walks in, he takes the wife. The other gay cop takes the husband, right? So the first gay cop, he's looking at the wife and he's like, sweetie, look, Do you always wear sweatpants with holes in them and no makeup and your hair a disaster every night? This could explain why your husband is so upset. And then the other guy's looking at the husband. He's like, buddy, before we get started, I want to let you know, they have this invention. It's called a razor. Okay? They have food with green leafy vegetables. Maybe it'll get rid of this a little bit. No wonder your wife, by the time those two gay cops left, everything is solved. Number one, argument's over. That couple is no longer pissed at each other anymore. They're too pissed off at the gay police. Number two, nobody gets arrested. Nobody gets hurt. And number three, actual cops are allowed to do actual police work. How am I the only person not thinking of this? Get the freaking gay police and get them now. Can you imagine? We all saw that travesty in Minnesota, did we not? With this freaking jerk off. Imagine if that was a member of the gay police. Even if a member of the gay police somehow had to put the guy down and he had to get his knee on him, right? Even if he had to do that, after about 10 seconds, this is what would have happened. Sweetie, me choking you is like super, super sexy, but I'm going to need you to go ahead and give me the safe word so we can both get along with our day. Nobody dies. Nobody's panicking. Nobody's threatening to take money away from the police. How am I the only person thinking of this? How am I the only person? I got to tell you, being from San Francisco, and I'm not like an expert, but I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what the gay community wants, you know, just growing up around it. And there are two things that I will never understand in regards to the gay community. Number one, every day in this country, there are people getting married that I don't know, that I will never meet, and will never have any impact on my life whatsoever. So explain to me why I should give a fuck if they get married. Why does anybody care? Why? Who gives a shit? Right? And the second thing, and this is just as bad, I have no idea why gay people are fighting to get married. Are you kidding me? The divorce rate is 75%. And that's only because about 15% can't afford it. I was at my gym the other day. Swear to God, at my gym, talking to this nice couple. I have a background in fitness. They were asking me a bunch of questions. And I'm walking out of the gym. Nice couple, probably in their late 30s. And I talked with them for a little bit. And as we were on their way out the door, I gave them a compliment. I said, wow, you guys are a cool couple. How long have you been married? And the wife looks at me and goes, oh, we're not married. Oh, you're not married? She says, no. We're a nesting couple. Oh, what? We're a nesting couple. Would you like me to explain to you what that is? I said, honestly, no. I don't want to know. We've had a good conversation. I don't want to mess it up. I feel like if you explain to me what a nesting couple is, I might murder both of you right where we stand. So I'm going to go this way. You go that way. Have a great day. I don't want to fucking know. I spent the next 3 hours at my house trying not to Google it. I want to figure it out on my own. What the fuck is a nesting couple? And I finally posted something on social media and people started to tell me. And then I looked it up. A nesting couple, for those of you who don't know, is a married couple that does have at least one child, where both the husband and wife want to get a divorce, but they don't. They basically put on this charade for their children to make it look like they're a family. I'm like, that's fucking 95% of married couples are nesting couples. How have I never heard of this term before? This is ridiculous. The divorce rate is ridiculous. I'm going to tell you what. I know what it takes to play sports at the highest levels. I know what it takes to be a great athlete in college, whatever. I know what it takes. And I'm going to tell you right now, being a great athlete at that level is not even close to as difficult as being married. Okay? It's insane. We're following rules of marriage that are 400 and 500 years old. Do you know that in the original marriage idea, it literally says things like physical attraction and sexual chemistry are completely unnecessary for a happy marriage. It says it in the paperwork. Because after a few years, this is what happens anyway, right, to most people. I mean, it's ridiculous. You don't think society and people have changed in the last several hundred years? And unfortunately for the world, I may be the only person. And look, I'm on team marriage, right? I'm married now myself. I'm on the second one. I'm doing everything I can to not have a third one. Because I've reached an age where, at my age, you don't get divorced. you disappear. I got fake passports, IDs, a new identity. I will fucking disappear. I'll be in South Beach like, oh, how's everybody doing? Yeah, no, I don't know this mic guy back in there. Look, I'm here to teach you how to properly use your timeshare, okay? We're going to teach you how to use your timeshare. I don't know this guy. I've been in South Beach my entire life. I was in Cuba first, now here. I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, I will disappear. I got new identities. That's my plan. But I'm going to try not to get there. And I may be the only person. Being a part of team marriage is kind of like being a player or maybe a fan of the Cleveland Browns football team. Like, you're going to have some good moments during the year, but at the end, it's going to fucking end in heartache, okay? And your best player is probably going to go to another team. That is fucking team marriage. So I have the solution. The problem with marriage is the whole phrase, till death do us part, okay? The problem is not women. It's not a woman's problem. It's a man's problem. Men are unbelievably immature. If you don't think, no, and I'm not bagging on men, I'm just fully aware of it. If you go up to any guy and you say, hey, name 3 characters from Family Guy. If he can do it, he's fucking immature. I know, because I can name the whole cast. Men reach their maximum mental maturity at 17 years old. Senior year of high school, that's it. Okay, I have a friend who's a brain surgeon in Las Vegas. Not a doctor, not a surgeon, a brain surgeon. I met him at a hospital in Vegas to go somewhere to lunch. You know what he thought was funny? Farting in the fucking elevator with a room full of people. Everybody died laughter. Nobody's going to blame the brain surgeon. They're going to blame the guy in their tracksuit. Okay, this is immature. So I have it. I have the solution for marriage. Okay, I have it. Let me give you an example. When LeBron James came out of high school, every NBA team was standing on their knees with a maximum 7-year contract, right? Oh my God, play for us. He had never played a game. Every team, max money, 7 years. There were teams that would have offered him 10. There were teams that would have offered LeBron James a 15-year contract. You know how many teams would have offered LeBron James out of high school a 20-year contract? None. 25, 30, 40, 50, 60 years? None. Zero. We do marriage by contracts. 7 years at a time. You get married, it's for 7 years. If one of you wants out, it's fucking over. No alimony, palimony. Yeah, you got to take care of your kids. If your wife didn't work for 10 years, look, she had a fucking job and a place to live before she met you. She can go fucking find another one. It's not fair. Marriage was completely for men until about 1920. And ever since, now it's only for women. There's not one benefit for a man to get married. Not one. I mean, a guy comes home and he finds his wife fucking the postman. The husband has to leave the house and she still gets to leave there? What the fuck is wrong with this thing? Now think about this. If you had a 7-year contract marriage, here's the best part. If you know anything about sports, when do athletes play their best? In a contract year. So we get to year 7. All of a sudden the wife, she hasn't worked out since right before they got married. Now she's in the gym 5 days a week. She's wearing lingerie to bed. She's spending more than $10 for a haircut. Wife's looking awesome. Husband's coming home every night. Baby, you want me to rub your feet? You want me to take care of the kids? You want me to take them to school in the morning? Right? What can I do for you? Because they want to stay married. And here's the best part. If you're happy and you make it 50 years, you can literally walk around like, yeah, we're in our 7th term. It's very presidential, is it not? 7th term. Yeah, we're hoping for 8. Thank you, everybody. Everybody's good.
Hee